Kevin Nash had an incident online with Roddy Piper. I guess Piper had a podcast and he told a story about a backstage incident at WCW, and Kevin Nash didn't exactly remember it going down like that, so they had a little social media war back and forth. Do you know what the relationship was like with Kevin Nash and Piper? It does feel sort of out of character for him to be getting into little fights like this, because he had a similar deal with Stone Cold Steve Austin, who had a podcast on Podcast One, which is where Piper's was, and I guess Austin was upset maybe. That's the allegation that Piper has put out there about an impression that had been done on Piper's show, and there's back and forth, and Piper would say that Austin got him fired from Podcast One. Austin would deny that and say Piper was really just trying to create an angle. What do you make of these sort of weird situations with both Kevin Nash and Steve Austin just before Roddy passed away?
I don't know that Roddy really had a relationship with Kevin Nash. I remember the Twitter wars and all that. But then finally when they got on the phone and talked, amazing. Everything was settled. Everything was squashed. What happens a lot of times is people will remember things one way, their version, how they saw it. Same person, same scenario, they will remember it in a completely different way. Just like here, I'm giving you my version. I'm giving you how I remember things and my experiences during the time. Other people in the same situation may remember it differently. And I think that's all that happened. With the Podcast One situation with Steve Austin and all that, I heard both stories from Roddy. I heard, that Roddy had quit. I heard that Roddy was fired. Or not fired, actually left. But I heard that Steve was involved. I heard Steve wasn't involved. So only those guys know the truth. But when I heard both stories from Roddy, I tend to believe that, the first one was that, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to go do my own thing. And then he goes to do his own thing, and then it was, well, wait a minute, this other story came up. So I don't know if it was Roddy creating something,
right,
to make bigger news, to make more of the splash when he debuted somewhere else. And I don't really know. I don't know what his motive was there.